For more on this, I'm joined in the studio by our international affairs editor, Armen George. And Armen, President Macron seems to be rowing back now then in the face of criticism.
Well, his entourage is insisting there was never any question of honouring Petain because the ceremony at the Invalides, which is the complex of buildings relating to France's military history, the ceremony at Invalides was always supposed to pay tribute to 6 wartime generals who actually have a connection with the Invalides. There was never any question, according to the French government, of paying tribute to Petain at this ceremony in the Invalides, all the more so because Petain's tomb is actually not there. It is in a cemetery on an island west of the French mainland. So that's essentially the government spin. Macron's spokesperson saying there was a misunderstanding. There was never supposed to be a tribute to Petain. But if you look at Macron's actual comments, they're very similar to what previous French presidents have said. And even Charles de Gaulle, who was Petain's great rival, he paid tribute to Petain's role at Verdun during World War I. Also, interestingly, François Mitterrand, who was a socialist president in the 1980s and 90s, he would actually send flowers to be put on Petain's grave. So he went much further than Macron is doing today. But I think the key thing, Claire, is that the political culture has changed since the Mitterrand years, and nowadays dividing up Petain's life into these different bits, that no longer seems as acceptable as it used to be. In any case, Macron is set to touch on this question once again tonight because he goes on French public television. So what he's calling this fake controversy could still be potentially rumbling on tomorrow as well, at least tomorrow morning.
It's a big week for Emmanuel Macron. He's been visiting World War I battlefields, and at the weekend, when the country marks 100 years since the end of World War I, there are going to be several world leaders here.
Well, there's a big dinner on Saturday night. He's hosting about 50 world leaders at a fancy dinner at the Orsay Museum in the center of Paris. And it's actually a bit of a coup for him to have all these leaders choose Paris, because some of them head nations that suffered very heavy losses in World War I. Russia, Germany, and Britain, for example, come to mind. You might have expected the leaders of those countries to be attending commemorations in their home countries and capitals, but they're actually in Paris for this dinner, and I believe also for the main centerpiece of commemorations on the 11th himself. So all this shows that Macron is a leader that all the others can at least agree to go to on a very symbolic occasion like this, which wouldn't have necessarily been the case in Germany, for example. I don't know if Donald Trump would have gone to Angela Merkel on this occasion, but he has agreed to come to Paris. Merkel and Trump will both be in Paris with Macron. So I suppose the upshot of all this is that Macron gets to look presidential at a time when he's really plunged in the opinion polls and people getting very edgy about these fuel price rises.
Thank you very much, Armen.